Musikhack Fuel is a maximizer, a loudizer, a sound goodizer. Overall, it makes your audio gooder. There are quite a few raving reviews out there, but I found there are absolutely things to keep an eye on when using this plugin. We'll get into that later on. Fuel offers a bunch of tools in a one-knob fashion. In other words, you get a collection of processors that have auto settings. You can only change how much you want of it, the plugin does everything else. This is one hell of a powerful plugin to increase loudness, add thickness and tame any dynamics. It is so powerful that you can, without any serious effort, completely butcher any mix. That's why, in my opinion, use this plugin with care and rather subtle in most cases. Which fortunately you can do, and when you do that, it's really easy to bring life to bland and dull buzzes like with these drums. Bass, OTT and body do the trick. I won't go over every control, most speak for themselves. There are a few things I want to point out that I noticed while test driving this plugin. First, the bass dial does two things. It's a low-end enhancer, first adding a bunch of harmonics. This means your low end will be fuller but also better hearable on smaller listening devices. After a certain point, an EQ is engaged, which dips the very low end and at the same time will sharply boost around 58 Hz. And this is a fixed frequency. The manual states it's centered around 80 Hz, which technically is correct, but really see this as a 60-ish bass boost. This frequency makes it an excellent choice for kick drums. They love the 60 Hz area. Now there's a lot more to go over, but please make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already to stay up to date on the latest new plugins. This video is sponsored by DistroKid. If you need to split the revenue of your releases with multiple collaborators, DistroKid has splits. This enables you to, very simply, split the revenue you make. Add as many collaborators for a release you want and decide how much of the cake they get in percentages. On top of that, you can set recoupments as well, so if you agree on a fixed fee instead of royalties, this is the way to do that. Get 7% off of your first year with DistroKid by using the link in the description. One thing I don't like as much with Fuel is that with every control, when you increase the amount, you also increase the level. This will skew how you hear things quite a bit. And normally you will adjust the output level to compensate for that. Now, Fuel has the Unity switch. This is an auto leveling function, and this reads as a handy tool to automatically compensate for level changes. So you can hear what the plugin does to the sound, but you cannot leave it turned on. Because when you have bigger level changes, you hear this auto leveling catching up. That makes it unusable to leave it on all the time. Ideally, I want to see how much the level is compensated by the plugin and have, for instance, a simple toggle to set that fixed on the output gain. So this plugin can be really heavy-handed in its processing, which makes it ideal for parallel processing. And that's why the dry and wet mix dial is so important. You don't have to dial in much of the wet signal at all to already have a big improvement in density and push. Here I'm doing 4 to 7% at best, and it's already more than enough to get a great result. Now with all this distortion, clipping and compression happening, Fuel does aliase quite a bit in normal mode with a lower sample rates, and you can really hear the effect of the aliasing using the normal mode or using oversampling. With this next example, I rendered the same drum loop twice where I really push Fuel. One time is with oversampling, the other one is without. Warning, this is really loud and aggressive sounding. The difference is very clear. Without oversampling, it's a lot harsher and obnoxious sounding. There's a pretty small difference in CPU usage when you use oversampling, and I suggest you simply leave it on at all times. Overall, I really enjoy using Fuel in parallel mode to add life and excitement to a mix. It's very easy to overdo it for sure. I'm not convinced I want to use Fuel on all my mixes, but for quick mix improvements, it's nice. Try it out for yourselves to see if it fits in your audio toolshed.